Culture swap.
Swap my culture.
We're doing the one that you suggested to me first, are we?
Yeah, so, listeners, as you know, we love to give each other Christmas films. I am following my tradition of giving Liam the most important Christmas films I can. That's a lie. I gave him The Grinch.
Well, how the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Sorry, yeah. Dr. Seuss's How a Grinch Stole Christmas. Is it Dr. Seuss or Zeus?
I say Seuss, but I'm not... The thing is, I feel like Dr. Seuss, and I could be wrong here, but I feel like it's a very American thing. Like, I don't remember ever reading it when I was a kid.
Yeah, I think Green Eggs and Ham I got maybe like saw once and maybe read once because I remember it, but the other stuff wasn't that big over here.
Like Cat in a Hat.
Yeah.
And Horton Hears a Who, which I watched this year because it has the voice talents of Zac Efron and Taylor Swift.
Fair enough. Yeah, so
that's the Lorax. I got confused.
Okay. I recommended this film to Liam, not because it's a good film, because I don't think it particularly is.
Yeah, well, this is my point.
I wanted Liam to learn, because he's a bit of a Grinch, as I'm sure you can all agree. And I was hoping that by watching this film, he would, maybe just connect a little bit with the Grinch, and he'd say, oh, that's how I feel. And then when he learns his little lesson at the end, maybe Liam will learn a lesson too.
Yeah, so the one thing that I just kept thinking of as we was watching this is why do you keep making me watch these, like, kiddie Christmas bullshit movies? I don't understand why you keep making me do it.
Fuck you, Elf is a great Christmas film.
It's an okay Christmas film.
No, Elf is a great Christmas film. I will accept the Santa Claus and the Grinch being two of the lesser. They are. The thing is, I
think the Santa Claus is probably my favourite of the ones you've recommended so far.
That's so depressing. That's so depressing.
Yeah, well, okay, here's what I don't get.
I gave you Elf.
Elf is a totally average movie. We discussed this last year. We don't need to discuss it again.
Liam, he puts maple syrup on the spaghetti.
Wow.
You don't have maple syrup on spaghetti.
Well, you do if you're an elf.
Yeah, exactly, because they eat sugar.
Fucking hell.
Now,
do you have such a low bar?
Did you learn any lessons from the Grinch?
Yeah, that I need to have a serious discussion with you about Christmas movies. So here's the thing. Why do you keep recommending me these, like, just terribly average kids ones when there's good Christmas movies out there?
The first year, I recommended you Santa Claus because it was a film that was part of my childhood growing up. I used to watch that around Christmas. The second year, I gave you Elf, which is part of my, adulthood. I've watched Elf pretty much every year since it came out in the cinema. This year, I wanted you to learn a lesson about Christmas, so I gave you The Grinch, Liam. It's not that I'm giving you deliberately childish,
Why didn't you
films.
give me something like It's a Wonderful Life?
Because, Liam, I want you to learn. I don't think you would learn from that film.
What about Scrooged with Bill Murray? That would have been
Again,
good.
I don't think you'd learn from it.
I didn't
you need
learn
a blunt
from this
hammer.
one.
And The Grinch, my friend, is the bluntest of hammers.
No, it wasn't. Why not Home Alone?
Because that's obvious. We'd both like that.
Miracle on 34th Street.
I haven't seen that one.
There's a Mumblecore Christmas film.
That's cool. Maybe you can do it for me after I finish the Silent Night
It has Anna Kendrick in it.
Talk about The Grinch, Liam. We're talking about The Grinch.
No, I'm listing movies that I would rather you recommend me. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
That's not how the recommendations work.
Lethal
Liam, we're talking
Weapon.
about The Grinch. Now, listeners, if you
Krampus.
haven't seen The Grinch, it's a very complicated, convoluted plot.
Do you know what? He doesn't even steal Christmas until like an hour into the movie.
Yeah, no, they drag it right out, don't they?
Yeah. It's
not a good film.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Thanks for recommending it.
I have some points,
I
Liam.
brought this on 4K. So
I know you
everyone's
did.
aware.
That was such a mistake. I think I told you at the time that it was a mistake, but you don't remember that.
Yeah, probably didn't happen.
I have a few points, Liam.
Okay.
Things that I noticed on this watch through that I hadn't actually noticed before.
Oh, did you rewatch it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's the thing. I suffered with you, friend. It's not like
Okay.
I made you watch it and didn't rewatch it. I rewatched it, and it's a bad film.
What? No,
I had to watch it last
wouldn't-
year as well.
I wouldn't say it's a bad film.
I think it is. I think there are
Okay.
good bits in it, and I think
Yeah.
there are redeeming sections, but I think overall it is a bad film.
Why?
Did you notice, Liam, that in the scene where where we learn how the Grinch was born, in air quotes,
Yeah.
they are at a party.
Yeah,
and they all put
they're
their
doing
keys
their
in a bowl.
keys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I think, Liam, that this film, on the surface, is a kid's film all about, like, oh, learn to love Christmas. Christmas isn't about the presents, blah, blah, blah. I think, in reality, what this film is a sort of Sodom and Gomorrah situation. This is the city of sin. The Whoville is a city overrun by sin, and the only person that clearly sees that is the Grinch, who tries to fight it in a vigilante justice style way, but fails. And Cindy, who sees it and actually learns to change the sin in the city.
Right.
I may have gone a little bit insane watching this film, Liam, because it's the second year running I've had to watch it, and I don't like it that much.
Did you notice there was another reference as well that was a bit risque?
There's quite a few. Which one are you talking about?
Still in like similar to that same scene when all of the babies are arriving.
Yes.
And someone shouts, "He looks just like your boss."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This film has a weird number of, like, a lot of kids' films do it. They like put in a little joke that the parents will get.
But these ones were really like...
Yeah. These are like full on, like, because the key one is implying that all the Who's in that party are involved in some sort of huge orgy,
swinger thing,
sex party.
Well, it's swingers, isn't it? The key thing,
yeah.
Typically.
Yeah. Still a sex party.
Yeah. But it's not an orgy, I don't think.
Well, I would not like to say on that, Liam. I think the Who's could definitely be involved in an orgy.
I guess the way that the Who's kind of reproduction systems work, it's not like they have to actually carry the baby or anything.
No, this is true. Where do the babies come from?
Well, they just kind of fly in, don't they, on magical like baby chairs. Yeah,
it's weird. It doesn't make sense to me.
No, but I guess the point I'm making here is if you could have sex with anyone without, particular...
No, but I think you still get the baby from the sex. That was the implication. Like, the fact that they had the "he looks like your boss" joke.
So
right?
Who was the Grinch's actual parents then? Because there's no one else.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, no, we see that a baby is heading that way, and the Grinch's like little carriage thing knocks that baby out of the way.
Yeah.
So I don't... that's what I mean. I don't know.
Baby?
I think there is another town of Grinches somewhere.
Right, okay.
And this Grinch has just suffered his entire life living in this horrendously horrifying town. Like, Whoville is a bad place. I'd hate to be there.
Yeah.
I think this is just a really sad story about a kid that grew up in the wrong place and is racially assaulted his entire life, and then in the end, like, caves into society.
It is a bit racist.
Yeah, there's a scene where he says, "Is this because I'm green?"
Yeah.
And I was like, you're playing racism for jokes, which definitely doesn't feel okay.
Well, I don't know. When it's green, it's not like anyone's going to get offended by that, is it?
No, but it does feel like it's playing racism for jokes. Anyway, that's not important.
No.
Did you learn the lesson, Liam?
Not really.
Do you feel more Christmassy this year?
No, just annoyed. I want a good Christmas film.
Well, that makes me think you're a bit like the mayor, Liam.
I did find as well, like Jim Carrey, even though like you couldn't recognise Jim Carrey, you could tell it's Jim Carrey through his body language and
I think if you showed that to
deliveries.
someone and didn't tell them it was Jim Carrey, they would very quickly be like, "Oh, that's Jim Carrey."
Yeah, and I don't know if that's good or not. Can we just shout out to Kelley, who plays Max?
Yeah.
Did you know that Kelley was a female dog that played Max, the male dog?
What a brave dog.
I think she did a great job. I think she really managed to convey the masculinity of a dog.
She did a good job.
No, but Max was great, I thought.
Yeah, Max is a good character.
Yeah. So what did you think of Cindy Lou Who?
She's not the most annoying child actor I've ever seen.
She's really not. She's all right when she's not singing.
Weirdly, I do love "Where Are You Christmas." It's like one of my favourite Christmas songs.
Do you know she is now, like, I think the front lady of a band?
Yeah.
Called The Pretty Reckless.
Yeah. She's badass.
So I assume she's got better at singing.
Well, she was a kid in the film.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I thought she was fine. Like you said, not as annoying as some kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, the "Where Are You Christmas"? I don't know.
It's just such a good song, Liam.
Do you want to do a little rendition for our listeners?
Where are you, Christmas? Why can't I find you? It's beautiful, Liam. It's such a moving song. I sing it in the build-up to Christmas.
I was surprised.
And then I sing it through Christmas.
So I was surprised at Christine Baranski, who you probably would know her best as Leonard's mum in The Big Bang Theory.
Okay.
She's pretty smoking hot in this movie. She plays Martha May.
Got you, yeah.
Also, another adult moment. There's a scene where the Grinch flies onto her and just proper face plants into her boobs.
Yeah, he's just fully in her breasts, yeah.
And the camera just real quick zoom into them.
Yeah.
This
film is, considering it's a Dr. Seuss story and doesn't need that much sexual
The Lorax
innuendo.
didn't have this much sexuality in it.
What was that?
The Lorax, when I watched that, didn't have this much sexuality stuff in it.
Horton Hears a Who?
I haven't seen that one. I've got confused. Remember?
Oh, okay. You watched the Lorax, got you?
Yeah, I haven't seen Horton Who's a Who.
Sorry.
But yeah, honestly, like, I don't know. I guess the makeup and stuff looked good on the Grinch. The special effects were okay. Like, it was clearly like, you know, well, it wasn't even early days of CGI, was it? This came out in 2000, and you think a year later we had Lord of the Rings: Fellowship of the Ring. So CGI was decent at this time. But yeah, it was okay in this one.
It didn't rely too heavily on CGI, this one, though.
No, it didn't. I don't know what you want from me. With
I
this
want
movie.
you to learn to love Christmas.
Nah, didn't.
I wish you had.
I just don't think this is the movie to do it. I think if you gave me
Well, that's what we're doing, Liam. We're working our way up to it, mate. We're getting there. We've thrown some preliminary shots. I'm feeling out your need for what you need to learn.
But you
for
even
Christmas.
knew that I wouldn't like this one.
Yeah, I know.
So
What,
why?
Liam? You sort of ran me into a corner with this one.
How?
Well, last year I said I'm going to recommend you the Grinch after our last Christmas special.
Right.
I said it's a bad film. I don't know. I'm going to do it to be mean to you. Then you bought a 4K version of this film, and I couldn't say, Liam, I'm not going to recommend you The Grinch because it's not a good film.
Yeah.
So you've ended up watching The Grinch. This is your own fault. Don't fucking buy films half a year before we're doing the special.
No, I didn't buy it until like about a month ago, if that.
Don't buy it then.
There are
Buy it when we recommend.
There's a couple of scenes that did look nice in the 4K with the HDR, like
Yeah, how did it hold up?
sunset and stuff. I mean, mostly you can tell this. If anything, it looks like a 90s movie, despite the fact it came out in the year 2000.
Is that because you go up to 4K, which lets you see the sort of defects?
No, I don't think so. I think it it has a
looks
bit of a
like
like cheapy look to it.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of budget went into Jim Carrey's costume.
Yeah, that does look good, but I don't know. Like, I just didn't really get the message it was trying to say, because it was trying to
tell
say.
you, Liam. Yeah, go on.
It was trying to say you don't need presents and stuff to have a good Christmas, right?
Yeah.
But then it still ends with everyone getting presents.
Yeah, I honestly think that this film is sort of like I think it sways more to the capitalist side of the Christmas holiday, because while it's like, oh, you don't need presents to have a good Christmas, it does very much make a big deal out of like, oh, let's do that anyway. And like you say, they get the presents back at the end and don't celebrate a Christmas without them. Like,
I thought it actually did a really good job of making the Grinch seem quite sympathetic. Like,
oh yeah, like I honestly, this watch was like, oh, the Grinch is the good guy in this film. Like, the things he does that are like fully bad are he sets fire to the Christmas tree, which is illegal.
Yeah.
And when he steals the shit, he only steals the shit because the mayor is literally like, think about it, the Grinch is a full-grown adult in this film, as is the mayor, and the mayor just falls back on childhood bullying.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, the Grinch is the good guy in this film, and then at the end when he caves in and still conforms to society's ideals, it's sort of the film being like, Christmas is all about family, also don't be the outcast.
Exactly, which I felt so sorry for, like, how many people in the world have to, through no choice of their own, spend Christmas on their own or whatever. And it must be so annoying when, like for the Grinch, he's in his little mountain, but he can still hear everyone celebrating Christmas.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you can kind of easily draw a line from that to someone like sat in their house who's had to spend 2 fucking months watching like Christmas adverts on TV and not being able to escape like all of the Christmas shit in the shops and stuff. It must be fucking depressing.
Yeah, I would much rather watch a Grinch film where at the end with the presents he just throws them off the mountain and he's like, I'm saving you all from yourselves.
Yeah,
like the speech he does when he's getting the whatever it is, Christmas cheer man.
Yeah, cheer monster.
Right? He does that whole speech when he gets angry and he's like, oh, all the presents that you buy each other, I get them every year. I get all those presents because you throw them out. And like the Who's, no one's reacting being like, oh yeah, you're right. No one does that. Even Cindy is not like, oh, he's right. You know, she's still just like, well, I want the Grinch to have fun. And you're like, no, the Grinch is right. You're all chucking away these presents. Like, the Who's are a terrible society.
Yeah, they are. And I honestly, this didn't make me feel more Christmassy.
No.
Which
Good.
Is a shame.
One last thing, Liam, and then we can give our ratings.
Okay.
I would like to point out that at the beginning of the film, Anthony Hopkins very clearly states that the Who's live inside a snowflake.
Yes.
about 10 minutes into the film, the mayor says that's 35 or something, like hundreds of kilometres away from here. If they are living inside a snowflake, it cannot be kilometres away.
Well, maybe their like way of judging distance is different.
Why would they call it kilometres, not whoometers?
Yeah, but I don't know.
I wish more stuff started with the word who in that film. Who'smas? Let's sing some whoosic.
Was it just me, or did like Anthony Hopkins' narration just feel a little bit like, let's just get this done?
Yeah, I think he probably knew that this was not a great film.
Yeah. Yeah, like Jim Carrey is fine in it, but it's Jim Carrey being very 90s Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I like it for that. Like, I like the Jim Carrey over-the-top acting.
Yeah. But there's nothing about this film that really stands out. Like, I think if you say in a year's time, what do you remember about the Grinch, there won't be a lot.
You'll say Kelley the dog doing an outstanding performance.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I give this film 2 out of 5, Liam. What do you give it?
Oh, I went higher. I went 2.5 out of 5.
Fair enough.
Because there was nothing like I really hated about it, but there was just nothing that I really liked. It was average, very, very average.
After you watched The Grinch, did your heart grow 3 sizes?
Nah.
Okay.